Hey everyone, welcome to another ReferralCandy webinar. With me today, it's Omnisend. We're going to be talking about how to increase your user retention on your online store. I want to run a quick test real quick. I would like to see if you guys can see my screen and hear me as well. Ritis, if you can see my screen as well and hear me, that would be great if you could tell me so we can get started. I will also like to welcome all of you to this webinar. I'm going to give a couple seconds for everyone to join the room and we'll be ready to go.
Hi, Raul. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I can hear you, and I hope everything will be absolutely fine from the technical side and the content, and it's good. So hope everyone will stay till then, and we will have a great time together.
Awesome, Ritis. I can also hear you as well, so that's great. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Raul. I'm the partner manager here at ReferralCandy, and I'll be your host for today. And my guest today, it's Ritis Loris, who's the founder and CEO of Omnisend, and it's a pleasure for me to welcome him again to another ReferralCandy webinar. Ritis, how are you doing today?
It's fine. It's a really great day. So I'm really ready to speak, and I really love seeing so many people attending our webinar. So hope there will be really useful information from us to our webinar visitors.
I'm very excited to hear your part, actually. So the way that we're going to divide this is I'm going to be speaking first, and then Rita is going to take care of the second half of the webinar. I got to tell you guys, I mean, you really need to stay until the end because I've already seen Rita's part, obviously, and it's full of information. There's a lot of data and a lot of information and things that you can implement on your online store to increase your user retention, which is something extremely important that we're actually going to dive in a couple seconds. So just some quick notes before we actually start. So this webinar is going to take about 60 minutes and there will be some giveaways at the end. So again, that's the importance of stay until the end, because if you're thinking about setting up a referral program on your online store, you'll be able to get a deal on ReferralCandy so you can start getting more referrals from your customer. If you are interested in what Omnisend can help you, is one of the best email automation platforms for e-commerce right now. You can check it out, and we'll be able to tell you how you can get a special deal on Omnisend as well. And if you have any follow-up questions after the webinar, we both think it's a great idea to address your questions directly. So we'll be giving you our email addresses at the end of the webinar so you can email us directly with your questions, whether it's about referral marketing, whether it's about email marketing. Feel free to email us at the end. So, okay, so this is what you'll be learning today. So first of all, we're going to dive into the numbers behind customer retention. So what's the importance of customer retention? Why is it so important for your online store? And why it's something that you can't really forget about? We see a lot of merchants that are very focused and very worried about attracting new customers. So they invest a lot of resources and a lot of money on attracting new customers, but then they kind of forget what to do with them, or they don't really know what to do with them once they have converted those customers. You just keep looking to attract new customers. But customer retention is one of the most cost-efficient marketing strategies that you can implement on your online store. So we'll talk about the numbers behind it. We'll talk about how to keep your brand top of mind, and how customer retention also helps you increase word of mouth, helps you increase referrals. And referrals itself, it's one of the most cost-effective marketing strategies that you can put into practice. So we'll talk about that. Then Ritis will talk about how email is still the most effective channel for retaining customers, and he will give you some ideas on how to optimize this. How size matters in your subscribers list. We'll talk about promo campaigns, newsletters, and automation and how it really works. This will be the last part of the webinar. In the second half, that will be run by Ritis. Okay, so let's dive into this. So we're going to talk about the numbers behind customer retention. So this is some data that I've gathered just to kind of put you guys in the situation, and so you can see how important customer retention is and why you should really focus on this. So it costs on average 5 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to keep an existing one. Okay, so if you have a product that can be sold to the same customer over and over and over again, there's tons of industries that do this. This is a metric that it's really important for you, because it means that once you acquire a customer, you don't have to spend any more marketing, any more sales money on that customer to get new sales. I mean, basically all those fixed costs that you have on let's say ads or promotions or whatever it is, you don't have to spend it anymore. You have already attracted that customer, and basically all the new purchases that come from the same customer will be almost pure profit. So that's why it's 5 times cheaper to keep an existing customer than it is to acquire a new one. In that same line, just a 5% increase in customer retention produces more than 25% increase in profit. Well, obviously this makes sense with what I just mentioned, how it costs 5 times more to acquire any customer than to keep an existing one. If you get your existing customers to keep buying from you, again, all those marketing, all those sales costs, advertising costs that you had at the beginning, they are gone. You already have that customer. He's probably a loyal customer because he's coming back to your store and keep buying from you. So again, it's almost pure profit where you're getting from it. So I'll actually share some examples with you of companies that were actually being able to save themselves from bankruptcy by turning their focus from attracting new customers to retaining the ones that they had. And they were actually able to save their companies. I'll share these examples in a second. Also, for those of you who work in sales, you probably know that the probability of selling to an existing customer is between 60 and 70%. Why? Well, because they already know your product. They know it so well that they were willing to pay for it, and they were happy to pay for it. And then again, if they were happy with the transaction, if they were happy with the product, they will probably buy it again. So again, the probabilities are higher because all that education that you had to do, it's pretty much gone now. And so at the same line, the probability of selling to a new prospect, it's about 5 to 20%. I think a more realistic one will be between 5 and 10. I mean, look at your last email campaign, look at your last sales team's performance, and you would see that from all the prospects that you initially target, you probably sold just about 5 or 10% of those. But again, you can see the difference is almost 3 times more likely. And this is one of the examples that I wanted to bring you guys today. So this is HubSpot. I'm pretty sure that all the marketers in this room know HubSpot. So it was founded in 2006. Just 2 years later, the economy crashed in 2008. So HubSpot's churn rate went up. Why? Because HubSpot, actually, for those of you who don't know HubSpot, it's a company that provides marketing sales tools for digital marketers and for sales teams as well. And they mostly work with, I would say, medium-sized businesses. So all these businesses, I mean, the world's economy went pretty much bankrupt. So when the economy crashed, so all these customers that they had, they started canceling the most all the costs that they could basically get rid of without being too important for their business. And obviously, a marketing tool, it's probably one of those costs that you want to cut right away. And that's what they did. A lot of HubSpot's customers cancel their HubSpot's accounts, and so obviously their churn rate went up. So what they did, it was a very smart tactic. Instead of saying, okay, let's try to get as many customers as we can, that will have been kind of like a suicidal strategy, because again, a lot of businesses were going bankrupt, and so they were not going to start spending money on a marketing tool. So what they did is that they analyzed data to target customers that were likely to churn, and they identified when they were likely to churn. And so before they were going to churn or before they were going to cancel their HubSpot's account, based on the data that they gather, they were able to track these customers that they were still with HubSpot and reach out to them. and they offered them special services, special deals within their existing plan. They offered them, for example, educational content, so they were able to use HubSpot better and get more benefits from it. So they focus on improving their customers' ROI by offering them special services and special deals. And this is actually a case study done by a senior lecturer at Harvard Business School, Jill Avery. And what he says, kind of like his conclusion, is that they work to eliminate roadblocks to usage so that customers could unlock the value of the product. So sometimes it's that simple. Sometimes it's just basically looking at what your customers are doing with your product and reach out to them, say, hey, actually, there's more that you can get from our product and from our service. These are all the features, these are all the benefits that you can get. This is the value of the product you can get if you use it this way. So what they're doing, it's educating their customers on how to use HubSpot better and increase their ROI. And so what happened, obviously, is that their customer churn rate decreased. So customers stopped canceling their accounts, at least not as much as they were doing before. So they were actually able to not only save HubSpot, but HubSpot, it's obviously still around, leading companies in this field. This is another example, and this is Karmaloop, and this is e-commerce. So that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys today. So Karmaloop, again, it's a fashion e-commerce store. They were founded in the year 2000, and 13 years later, they registered technical bankruptcy. They filed bankruptcy in 2015, and obviously the profits were going downhill from there. So we can identify two main mistakes that took Karmaloop to this point. One of them is that they used venture capitalist money exclusively to acquire new customers, and all these customer acquisition strategies that they put into practice didn't work. So they burned a lot of their investors' money on strategies or tactics that didn't get them as many customers as they thought. So they run out of money pretty quickly. And they didn't really know how to retain existing customers. They were going after new customers very aggressively, but they didn't really have anything in place to convince existing customers that they should stay with them. So they came up with a rescue plan that had three main efforts. So one of them was to get their most active users to come back. So the thing is that they had very active users that at some point just got tired of seeing how new customers got better deals or got better offers than them, so they ended up leaving. They didn't have any reason to stay with Karmaloop. The second effort was to get these customers to spend more money, and the third leg of this rescue plan was the only leg or the only part of the strategy that was going after getting new customers. Was, okay, let's define our ideal user and go after them exclusively. And they set up a timeline of 9 months. And what happened at the end is that this customer retention strategy worked, and they were able to save the company, and was actually acquired in 2016. So they were actually able to save the company and put their finances back on track for a future acquisition, which eventually came. So what Karmaloop and what HubSpot really tells us is that you don't need that many clients. You don't really need to get a ton of clients every month, new customers. What you really need is that those who buy from you do it more and more often, and that they stay happy. Why? Because, as we're going to see later, happy customers not only drive more sales from themselves, but they will also be more likely to talk to their friends and family about you. So that's why it's very important that you keep this in mind and keep your customers happy. And this takes me to the second part, which is, okay, how to keep your brand top of mind. We just saw how important it was to keep your customers happy so they can talk to their family and friends about it, their coworkers. And obviously there's an important part here on how to keep your brand top of mind. So how to make your customers think about you as much as possible. So we're going to talk about three main things here. One of them is we're going to talk about memorable messaging. So basically adapt your messaging, your brand messaging, so your customers think about you. And we're going to talk about how to surprise your customers and how to tell a story. And I'll get into details very quickly. Also, another way to stay top of mind and get your customers engaged with you is to announce periodic offers with variable rewards from time to time. So we'll show some details about this later too. And the third recommendation I will give here is how to be useful on social media. A lot of merchants use social media to announce new products and to announce new deals, but there's other ways that you can use social media to retain your customers. It might not drive sales right away, but it will drive more sales and better educated customers in the future. So we'll go over some examples on how you can do this. So let's talk about memorable messaging. And what I wanted to bring you guys first example is how to surprise your customers. And one of the best ways to surprise your customers, it's extremely simple to put into practice, and it's extremely effective. And it's as simple as saying thank you. Saying thank you to your customer. And I'm not talking about an invoice emails that says, hey, thank you for your business. Here's our invoice. Here's how much you paid for our products. No, it's about reaching out to them personally in the most personal way that you can and saying, you know what, I really appreciate that you took your time to come to my store, to look at our products. I'm very happy that you found something that you liked, and I really hope that it really is beneficial for you. So saying thank you in a very personal way, especially when you're starting up, when you are an upcoming brand, retaining these customers that trust you at the very beginning, it's crucial. So I'm pretty sure that you have already heard the phrase, do things that don't scale. Well, this is one of them. You know, take your time to talk to your customers and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate it. And they will really appreciate that you appreciate it. So if you go on social media, you will see a lot of examples of customers that were happy to receive handwritten letters from stores saying, I really appreciate your business. I really appreciate that you trust us. And guess what? This turns into free promotion for your store. This is free referrals. So whenever they receive a letter that's a handwritten letter from a company that they just bought from, they will probably take a picture and post it on social media, or they will share on their chat groups and say, hey, you know what, this is what I got. I bought this cooler here, this Yeti cooler. I bought it, and they send me a message and say, hey, I really appreciate that you did this. Hope you enjoy it. Here's how you can better use it and get more benefits from it. Whatever it is, say thank you and appreciate that they did it. And again, it will turn into happy customers and more referrals. And another way to surprise your customer with memorable messaging is to say sorry. Your customer experience might not be the best on all cases. So you might have 2 out of 100 customers that, I don't know, their package got delivered late, or they never got their package, or it wasn't what they thought it was. So these bad experiences might look like a lost opportunity. Okay, I just lost a customer, but it actually what it is, it's an opportunity to gain their trust back and make them come back to you and give you another chance. So I'm going to share an example with you this is from a personal friend of mine who runs an e-commerce store selling contact lenses. They were starting up. Okay, so this was within their first 3 months in the market. So for them, customer retention was crucial, because for a company that's selling contact lenses online, for those of you who use contact lenses, this is something you need to buy. Well, I'm not really sure, but it's every 2 weeks, every month. I mean, you tell me, but it's something you need constantly to have. So it's a recurrent purchase. So customer retention was extremely important for them. So what happened to them is that they had a customer that had an issue with delivery. Apparently, this customer had paid for urgent delivery, so wanted to get it within 24 hours. Something happened with the supplier. They were not able to deliver it on time. So what my friend did, who was the founder and CEO of the company, he showed up at the customer's doorstep with the product, so with the box of contact lenses, flowers, and a chocolate box, the founder himself. And he turned out a doorstep and said, you know what? We're really sorry. And to make things worse, it was in the middle of the rain. So the guy, it was pouring rain. The guy was soaked. And he was, waiting, kind of like, like from a love movie. He was waiting at the doorstep for the customer to open the door to the founder with, again, with a product, flowers, and chocolate box, and a very sincere apology. He gained their customer back. The customer was extremely happy that that they were able to go the extra mile for them to deliver the product, and so that was very, very important for them, especially in the early days. So another example of memorable messaging is to tell a story. Okay, I'm pretty sure that everyone who is in the room with us today, it's in e-commerce for a reason. I'm pretty sure that you set up your e-commerce store because there must be some sort of story behind it. Maybe it was a product that you found during a trip and you thought that you could sell it back in your home country. So there's that personal story that, well, I was traveling and I found this product and I thought that people back in my hometown, in my home country will love it. And that's how I got started. There's always people behind every e-commerce store, especially upcoming brands. So something that I personally don't really like is when I go to an e-commerce store, I try to find who's behind and I can't really find anything. I can't really find a name or a picture or even a personal story. I don't know. It seems like they're hiding something. So don't hide it. You are there for a reason. So make sure that you tell your customers why. And this is an example that if you've been to other webinars with me, you've probably seen it. And I think it's a great example of messaging and why you need to tell your customers not only your mission as a company and your vision, but also what do you believe in, and what of those beliefs are pushing you to start your store. So this is Goldie Blocks. This is an e-commerce store that sells toys. So if we stopped here, if we just said e-commerce store that sells toys, you would think, okay, well, they are competing with Toys R Us, with Hasbro, good luck. But the thing, some difference that they're selling toys for girls, and these toys are inspiring girls to become engineers. So they are blocks that you can build, as you can see in the picture, you can build vehicles, you can build structure, houses, bridges, whatever it is. So they are, and as you can see here, this is the homepage, says girls start your engines. Why? Because the founder, Debbie Sterling, which I really recommend, this is a tech talk, it's on YouTube. I really recommend you to take a look at it. Her main goal and passion when starting Goldie Blocks was to inspire the next generation of female engineers. She thinks that there aren't enough female engineers in the world and that we need more. And I think it's true. And I think it's totally true. It's not an industry, but it's a job that it's populated mostly by men, and we need more women engineers. And she thought that this was so important that she decided to, okay, what can I do to bring more female engineers to this world? And she said, well, they need more inspiration. So that's how Goldie Blocks started. So again, tell your story. Say why you're different than the rest. Another example, and this is going to be the end of the second part. It's to actually no, this is not going to be the second. I have one more one more recommendation for you guys before we finish the second section. So one easy way to maintain your customers engaged with you, with your brand, and have them keep coming back to see what's up with you is to offer periodic offers or periodic deals with variable rewards. So this is something that, for example, Facebook games that I think Farmville and, games like this that have that addiction type of component in it. Something that they really do is that they want to be able to keep you engaged and to keep you keep coming back and see what's up and see what benefit you can get. So what they do to maintain this level of addiction a little bit, it's that they offer, let's say, 30% off just this week, or you can get 5,000 coins for free today. So knowing that this benefits exist, they will keep their users, the gamers, to go back to the game. And not only for games, this is something that, for example, Uber does very, very well, is that they, for example, from time to time, they announce, okay, you know what, for Christmas, for the Christmas week, you will get 30% off on all your rides, or we'll give you a ride for free because it's Christmas, here's your gift. So you keep your customers engaged, and you get your customers to keep checking on you to see what's up. So it's a great way to stay top of mind, because you force them to stay in touch with you, and you're adding a time constraint, which increase a sense of urgency. So, if you send a deal that says, you know what, for this week, we're giving 2 for the price of 1, only this week. So if you had a customer that was kind of hesitant about buying something from you, well, this is probably the perfect timing for them to do it. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to find a better deal than this. I better do it right now. And also increasing the value of their rewards or the promotions, again, only for a limited time. It helps you kind of, nudge your customers and kind of force them to make a purchase or to make a referral, because this is something that we've seen a lot of our customers do on their referral programs, is that, hey, if you refer to your friends only this week, you will get twice the rewards. So instead of getting $20 off on your next purchase, you will get 40, something like that. And actually kind of pushes people to do things. This is how human nature works. So it's very, very effective. I wanted to talk about social media and how to be useful. Okay, so a lot of merchants, whenever they start their e-commerce business, one of the first things that they do is that they set up a Facebook and a Twitter and obviously an Instagram page. And what they do, especially at the beginning, is that they want to drive sales right away. So they start showcasing their products and explaining all the benefits of the product and what it can do for you. And actually, if you put this coupon code at checkout today, you will get $30 off on your purchase. So they're constantly trying to push potential customers into making a purchase. But there's something more important than this, is that we are so used to content marketing ourselves as customers. We are so used to seeing ads and seeing content marketing everywhere that we have being able to kind of disconnect automatically. So you need to come up with content that your customers will interact with, and that might not be necessarily a discount code or some sort of deal like 2 for 1 or whatever it is. So what it's called the mere exposure effect is that the more often your customers encounter your brand, the likelier they are to keep it in mind. But don't be promotional. Don't use your social media accounts just to try to sell your product. At least not right away, because there's better ways to do it and better ways to educate your customers in the meantime. Make your customers not only create a connection with your brand, but also to be interested and seeing what's up with you. And do it by being interesting, useful, relevant, and definitely not needy, not salesy. And I wanted to use ourselves as an example, because that's something that we really do at ReferralCandy. If you follow us on social media, you'll realize that we almost never offer some sort of special deal or some sort of, here's how you can, only if you create an account ReferralCandy today, you'll be able to get whatever. We don't really do that. We actually do it on webinars like this one, for example, because we appreciate that you're taking your time to listen to us. So we feel like you deserve, we're explaining the benefits of referral marketing. And so we believe that you deserve to try ReferralCandy for let's say 60 days instead of 30 for free, get some sort of special deal, because again, we appreciate your time. You're taking your time to listen to us and listen to what we have to say about referral marketing. So, but if you follow us on social media, what you will see is that we have a blog that we are constantly publishing new content that we believe is interesting for e-commerce store owners, not only about referral marketing, but just marketing in general, some tips that you can implement on your online stores. That's something that we do. It's try to come up with content that it's useful and it's interesting for merchants, whether or not they're using ReferralCandy, whether or not they're even considering starting a referral program on their online store. And this is something that also a company called magicalbutter.com, which is one of our customers here at ReferralCandy, is something that they do. They have a social media account where they publish, so they are in the food business, by the way, and they publish a lot of content with recipes and videos on how to make specific recipes, not only on articles, on written articles, but also in videos. So it's extremely engaging. And one great thing about this is that their customers will be very likely to share it with their friends, and they're increasing the reach and increasing the promotion of Magical Butter out there. And something else that they do, which I believe is extremely smart, is that they have created a community on Facebook, so a Facebook group called Magical Butter Users United. And I want you to take a look at, I don't know if you can see you should be able to see my mouse here, but they have 22,788 members in the group. That's an insane number of users of Magical Butter. And in this community, they talk to each other about their experiences using the product. They talk about maybe recipes they're coming up with. They ask questions, because sometimes maybe people don't know how to use the machine, or they're trying to figure it out how they can use it better. And instead of reaching out to customer support directly, they just go in their group and they have all their customers explaining what it can do for you. Sometimes also they might get someone that maybe it's not a customer yet, but it's thinking about it. And it's like, hey guys, I'm thinking about getting a Magical Butter machine. Like, what can you recommend? And then they get tens of comments of people saying, you know what, it's great. I've been using it for years, and these are all the benefits that you can get from it. So it's extremely smart, because their customers are becoming their marketing agents, and they are explaining potential customers the benefit from it, and it's user-generated content, so it's real. It's no content marketing. This is people giving their actual advice and their actual recommendations. So, okay, I think I'm a little bit tight on time, so I'm gonna go over my next slide so you guys can listen to Ritis. Again, Ritis part, it's full of recommendations and full of data that you will be able to implement right away on your online store. So I really recommend you to stick around with us. So the last part of this first half of the webinar, it's how customer retention helps increase word of mouth sales. So in other words, how you by increasing customer retention, so you can get more referral sales. Okay, so you're at the point where you got your customers thinking about your brand. We've talked about how to use social media. We've talked about how to use your message, how to surprise your customers. But now that you got them thinking about your brand, and there's something you need to keep in mind, is that if you run a survey within your customer base, about 80% will probably say, yeah, I'm willing to refer. If you ask them, hey, will you recommend us to your friends and family? About 83%, this is a study by Texas Tech, would say, oh yeah, we're definitely happy to, I would obviously recommend you to my friends and my family and coworkers. But when you put this into practice, only about 30% of them will actually refer. So we're counting on just about 30% of your customers actually going out and referring you to their friends and family. So you need to do a lot of not only recommendations in terms of, hey, here's how you can benefit from recommending us to your friends and family, but you need to remind your customers and encourage them to talk to that 30%. And one of the best ways to do it that we have seen our customers do it is by including referral call to actions on your website. So when your customers are going to your online store, they're going there because they are looking for a product. They're not looking to look for a product for someone that they're going to recommend. They're actually looking for a product they're looking for themselves. But if you take that opportunity to remind them that they can benefit from recommending your brand to their friends and family, that's a great way to trigger more referrals. So I don't know if you can see my mouse here on the right side, but this is 22 Days Nutrition. It's one of our customers, and they have a call to action at the footer of the page that says, hey, do you love 22 days? If you love 22 days, you can refer us to friends and family and help spread the word, and has a call to action so you can learn more about the referral program. Another company in the food industry, it's called U Foods. They sell like protein foods, so shakes, bars, etc. They have another call to action on the website. Again, if I am a U Foods customer, if I'm going to ufoods.com, I'm probably just looking for my next protein supplement. I'm not really looking for a product that I can recommend to my friends. But if I happen to see a call to action here that says, oh, you can't see it right now, but it says there we go. There it is. So it says get free meals. Well, yeah, of course. Who doesn't want free meals? So I'll click there, and it will take me to a page where it explain what do I have to do to recommend U Foods or recommend whatever product it is to my friends and the benefit that I can get from it. So it's a great way to remind your customers that, hey, you not only have to benefit from our products, but you can also benefit by recommending us. Something else that we've seen our customers do is to include a post-purchase pop-up. So especially if it's a recurrent purchase, if you know that the customer has already been to your site, has already bought from you and knows what your product's about, you can put them a post-purchase pop-up that says, hey, thanks for your purchase. You know what? If you recommend us to your friends and family, you can get 20% off on your next purchase, and your friends will get also 20% off, or you will get $10 for each referral that you bring us, and your friends will get 20% discount on their first purchase, whatever it is. So if you show them, it's a great way to kind of keep them retaining for a little longer before they close your tab. And it's a great way to say, oh, why not? I actually know a friend that could totally use whatever product it is. So they'll be likely to go and do this referral, maybe post it on social media so their friends can see it. And also something, it's to send out reminder emails. And again, email, it's such a powerful tool that actually, Ritis, I think I'm going to leave my part on the best spot for you to take it from there. Again, emails is a great way to just reach out to the customers. They're used to seeing you. They know who you are, and they will be happy to get an email from you, especially if you're giving them something in exchange. So again, use emails to remind your customers that they can refer you and get some sort of special deal on their next purchase. All right. Okay, so let's summarize this first half before I pass the microphone to Ritis. So we've learned that it's cheaper to retain an existing customer than acquiring a new one. So keep that in mind whenever you get a new customer. Do whatever it takes to make sure that customer is going to go back to your store. Stay on your customer's mind for as long as you can. And obviously use customer retention to maximize referrals. And okay, this is something I wanted to show at the end, but if you stay until the end, we'll tell you how to. If you stay until the end, we'll show you how to get a benefit from setting up an account on ReferralCandy and Omnisend. And right now, I'm going to pass the screen and the microphone to Ritis. Ritis, they're all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Raul. Yeah, I think it was a really great piece of content you have shared with our webinar visitors and the people who are still with us, and then I saw like more and more people joining us. So which is great, and thank you for passing by the mic to myself. So hello everyone once more. So let me introduce myself a little bit. So we will talk about customer retention via email, and I'm Rytis Loris, as Raul has already introduced me, co-founder of Omnisend, which is an email marketing tool especially made for online stores, and we have more than 30,000 online stores, mainly small and medium ones, using us worldwide in more than 130 countries. So it's kind of, a little bit of experience, which we really collect, which I have myself. I work already for more than 10 years with digital marketing, and the past 4 years is with email marketing for online stores with Omnisend. We were called Soundest previously, and we have just recently rebranded, and then now it's Omnisend with a new vision and more opportunities for all online retailers to come quite soon. So yeah, so the examples and the knowledge I'm gonna share with you tonight is what we have collected from our customers which are already using our platform. So initially, as Raul has already mentioned, so there are different channels like social media, like referral programs, which are really important and which really work. But just what I wanted to say, that I am advocating email, as Omnisend is advocating email as a medium, as a channel, which is not really new, but it really remains effective. And once talking about email, I always compare it to this singer, Madonna. Probably like all of us are more or less familiar with this lady, who is not youngster anymore, not at all, but she still rocks. So the first email message was sent in 1971. So the technology is not new at all, but it really is able to transform and to adapt to changing digital environment. And here is a research about United States data that email is actually the most preferred channel to be contacted by brands. And another good part of it is that people do check email inboxes. And more than 90%, according to the survey, 91% of all internet users, they do check emails on a daily basis. So the probability to reach your target customer is really high. In the other part of Atlantic Ocean, in the UK, they made a survey as well. Numbers are a little bit different, slightly different, but still email really remains the most preferable channel to be contacted by brands. And here you can see a comparison to social media, like 63% have chosen email, and only 6% have chosen social media, and only like 5% push notifications on your mobile phones, 4% text messages, and only 2% would prefer phone calls from the brand. Why is it so, you can ask me? So the key reason is that actually the receiver of the email, the subscriber, is left with a choice. Once anyone gets an email in his inbox, so initially we have a look at the sender name. Then we have a look at the subject line, and we have the right to decide either we want to read this specific email or we want to skip this. Although maybe it's the brand I trust and the brand whose messages are okay for me and I'm open to receiving them, but this subject line doesn't click for me, so I do not read this email. So it's like one part. Another part is that I may make a decision when to read an email. So if today is a busy day, I do not open any promotional messages. I will do it maybe tomorrow, maybe when I'm back home, or maybe on my way home. Opposite to like text messages or push notifications, which you cannot ignore, and they are coming at that time, and you are forced to open them, especially with text messages. You cannot somehow ignore it. Just the only way to really make them read is to open them and actually read them. So those are the reasons why people are really preferring to receive brand messages, promotional messages via email over any other channels. And here in the chart you can see this pie. So this is like more not digital channels but analog channels. So outside of the scope we are talking about. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, maybe here. Yeah, so this is not a digital environment. Okay, so going further, so email marketing drives 15 to 30% of income for online businesses, for online merchants. So if you are an online merchant and you do earn a bit less from email marketing, so that shows that there is so many space to improve for you. If email marketing drives you more than 30%, that shows that you are actually retaining your existing customers, which is really good, but you are not having enough new traffic. That means that in the future you may be in trouble, that you do not have, you're not refreshing, your database, you're not acquiring new customers, you are only retaining and squeezing out your existing customers base. So then you need to take care about really increasing your traffic to your online store, your blog, or your website. Yeah, so just initial intro about email. Why do I believe in email, and then trying to prove it to you and to make you believe email as a channel as well. So, and today I'm going to talk about subscribers list and why size matters in this case. Second topic will be promo campaigns, or sometimes it's called newsletters, like bulk campaigns. And third, automation, which really works and which is really becoming more and more important. And I really encourage you to use more and more automation on your daily marketing activities, and it's really important. Okay, so let's start with subscribers. This is a really bad number, isn't it? So only 2 to 3% of all online traffic you get to your online site, online store, finalizes as a conversion. The rest, 97 to 98%, you just lose. You pay for the traffic, but you lose that traffic, a lot of it, vast majority of that. So it's really like sad number, but if you would have a look at or probably already know your statistics, or if you do not, so go to your Google Analytics and you will see such numbers, which are really sad. So the recipe for it is actually that you have to increase the number of people you are able to contact. So if 2 or 3% converts, so your goal is to get email addresses from extra 2 or 3%. That means that you're gonna double your chances to really sell something in the future and to complete the purchase. So here are some examples of how to actually collect email addresses. So the easiest or the most simple way is really to add a subscribe form at the bottom of your page in the footer. So here's one example of that subscription form. Here is another example, which I would say is a bit better, because if here we can see just no incentive, nothing, just sign up to our list, no promises, what you're gonna get, why is it valuable to sign up. So in this case, there is really said what's gonna be value, that you're gonna get exclusive promos and you're gonna become a VIP customer. So just enter your emails and we're gonna send you out some exclusive deals which you cannot find anywhere else, including our website. So there is a reason to do that. So those footer forms, they are not really effective. That's true. It's only like 0.2 to 0.5% of a conversion rate. But still, if we are talking that only 2% is converting from entire of your traffic to really like purchases, so having 0.5% is 1/4 of the traffic you are able to convert into like buying. So it's worth doing that. And what's the best? The people who convert on those footer forms, which is like really no number, but those people who sign up to a newsletter via footer forms, they are really your brand advocates, and they're really close to buying. That means that the person, the visitor of your website, has scrolled down all the way down to the footer, found the form there, and have subscribed to your newsletter. That shows that the person is really into your brand, is for your brand, and he really is keen on receiving promotional messages from you. He's open for that. So yeah, you can say, okay, Ritis, you're talking about really low numbers. So how to increase those numbers? Yeah, if you want to go 10 times up to 5% of conversion rate, use pop-ups. And yeah, here are few examples of pop-ups. And sometimes when I'm talking about with my clients or with general audience about email marketing and subscribe forms, they say, okay, but pop-up is such an annoying thing. I hate pop-ups. I always turn them off once I see them. It's a bit of true, but again, so statistics shows that pop-ups really convert, and they convert those visitors who are really in your brand and with your brand. So those who are being annoyed by your pop-up, they are not the ones who will probably really buy from you and who are not really interested in your brand. Of course, there are some technical details, like not showing the same pop-up again and again for those who are already your subscribers, not to annoying customers, not showing them too much, which is very important. Yeah, so there is an example of pop-up you can see on the screen. It's very simple. Just join and receive updates and discount codes. So it's kind of promise. Giving promises is really important. What's in it for me that I leave my email address for you? This example is even a bit better. It says that, okay, have you claimed your discount yet? We have 15% off, just very direct offer that if you want to get 15% off, leave your email address and we will send out you a discount. So it's really like an immediate call to action. But okay, if you're visiting our store, so here is a discount for you, which you can use it immediately just after exchanging it to an email address. So these pop-ups with discounts, I would really recommend them to use as exit intent pop-ups. When someone is visiting your store and is already about to leave your store, so why not to really exchange some discount, free delivery, any other incentives to a client? So it's a kind of a last opportunity to really get the visitor's attention and to really try to convert visitor into buyer, which is important. Of course, it depends on the products you sell. Of course, it does. But usually, if the person is looking for some specific product, so the one will buy somewhere. The question is the single: if he or she will buy from your store or from your competitors. So, like giving incentives and using exit pop-ups, using pop-ups in a smart way, for example, showing on specific category, not on homepage, is really the way to get more subscribers to your database. Another example, then with pop-up, the brand of clothing is asking a bit more details, not email only, but asking about your first name and birthday date. So why are we doing so? When really personalization really works. So if you have your client's name, it's really maybe used in marketing to personalize it, and really personalization increase conversions. And the birthday is here needed to really enrich your database and not have just email addresses, but have names and have birthday dates, and then use automation of birthday greetings. We will talk about automation a little bit later today. So birthday emails are those who are really have huge open rates, and that's a good opportunity to really greet your customer and show that you really care about them and give small gifts. I would say discount or free delivery or some maybe freebie which you can send it via post even, or maybe some electronic good. Yeah, so using pop-ups, although sometimes they may seem a little bit annoying, but it's really the conversion rate is up to 5%. It really depends on incentive you give. Pop-up itself, it may convert about 2 to 3% if you give no incentive, but if you are adding really valuable incentive to it and you're bringing it to the customer, to the customer directly, so they will see and they will use it and they will exchange it to their email address. So Yeah, so why is it so important to really collect email addresses of your visitors? So this slide shows and proves that the size really matters. We have analyzed our clients, our customers, online merchants. As I have mentioned already, we have more than 30,000 worldwide, so it's pretty a lot of data to be analyzed. And a statistic shows from our clients that the larger database you have, the more orders per campaign you get. And you spend the same time for composing promotional newsletter, but the outcome of it, the return on the investment, is much, much, much higher. So yeah, if you have really small database, less than 5,000 emails, so you're gonna get on average less than 2 orders. That means that even having 3,000 emails, which doesn't look that little, does it? Yeah, sometimes we start like from 3 emails, then it gets to hundreds, but even having 3,000 of emails doesn't really guarantee the return on investment of your email marketing. So that's, growing your database, good quality database, it's really important. And of course, if you have more than 50,000 emails, so the same campaign, you put the same effort, you send the same bulk email campaign, and you will, almost, 20 or 10 times more orders from the same campaign comparing to the small database. Okay, you can say, so having a huge database is good. So there is a friend of mine, or I have seen online that there is a database of, well, let's say 50,000 subscribers. So maybe I will buy it and we'll acquire it, and we'll send out email blast, and it will guarantee me 20 orders per campaign. Unfortunately, no. Please never buy email databases, email subscriber list, collect them. It's a process. It takes time. Yes, I do know. It takes time, but if you get a bad quality database, so you will not get sales from it. So it's not even the worst part. The worst part that you are really into high risk to be banned, because there is such a thing as online reputation. And once you are sending like decent emails and decent campaigns, you're getting like good points, like something like karma points for your online reputation. If you are spamming, which sending email blasts without having a permission is really a spam. So if you are trying to spam and send out email campaigns for those who haven't subscribed to your newsletters, so you are ruining your online reputation. So in worst case scenario, what's gonna happen that your domain will be ruined, and any email going from your domain, including your personal emails, will end up in a spam folder. So you can ruin your not only online reputation, but your business in total. Let's imagine if your support emails will start going to spam inboxes. Yeah. So yes, there are companies who may trick those, but you have to work on tricking. So I do not recommend you, highly do not recommend to do this. Okay. So summing up about subscribers list. So size really matters, but good quality email addresses and database of really your clients, of your existing clients or your prospects who at least show a little bit of interest into your brand, into the products you sell or services you provide. And so pop-ups and various subscribe forms in footer, maybe sometimes on top of a page, and pop-ups were shown either exit intent or after a few clicks, which has been made on certain category, are really the instruments which help you to collect email addresses. And of course, the last recommendation: never buy. Collect this list on your own. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it is. You have to do some job to make it, but it's really much more valuable. Okay, guys. So once we have already subscribers in our database, which is great, we have an email list. So now what we do? So a part of automated emails, which I highly recommend you to set up, and we'll talk a bit later. So stay till the end. with us. So you probably do email blast, so bulk email campaigns with newsletters. So what's really important in the newsletters? So first, really important to present yourself. So the sender name and the subject line is very important. If people are not able to recognize who have they received the email from, so they will either mark it as spam or they just delete. So again, this is a survey of the clients. So and they were asked, so when do they mark an email as spam? So mainly that they do not recognize the sender, or they just forget subscriber. They do not remember that they have subscribed to emails. Another important thing is subject line. So keep subject lines short, as more and more emails are being read on mobile devices. More than half of them are read on mobile devices worldwide. So only the few initial words is seen on your screen. So first, initial words has to show and tell the essence of the message you wanna give or bring to your subscribers. So really keep it short, and key message should be at the very beginning of your subject line. It's really important. Okay, what else? And attention span. So when the person already opens an email, so good news that the reader of email spends quite much time while reading your email and scrolling down. So on average, it's more than 11 seconds the person is spending with your email. And it's a survey made by Litmus. We have so many data from different email service providers, so I really rely on this data. And it says that more than 20% just glance at email. Like another 20% they skim read, and more than half readers, almost 60% recently, they do read your email and spend more than 8 seconds with your email. So which is really like great results, and I really want to believe in that. So that shows that really if you make the person to open your email, so they will go through the content. And on emails, as on the websites, there is above a fold thing and below a fold. So the key information has to be above a fold. The main image is really important. Avoid the too much text on top of your newsletter. Avoid too big header. Just show the essence, the key message you want your readers to receive. Show in the top of, and of course links, call to action buttons, they are pressed the most, not images, not the text. So yeah, so if you want to find more examples about great newsletters and some inspiration, really visit our Pinterest board, and there you can find a lot of good examples and a lot of inspirations for your own design and for your own newsletters. So pinterest.com/Omnisend. Please visit now or later after the webinar. Okay, so what's important about promo campaigns? So make it up. So always use your own brand name. Don't try to trick. Sometimes you can hear that, I have tricked because I have sent not from my store name, but from Alice Huntington. And people have opened because they maybe thought that maybe Alice is the real person who is sending me an email. I need to open it. But then they saw cases as a promotional material. So you may annoy your subscribers and they will mark it as spam or unsubscribe it. So always use your brand name. Keep your subject lines strict to the point and short. And the very beginning of a subject line should show the essence of a message you want to broadcast. And and get some inspiration for the content. Always look at your competitors, look at other brands who are sending newsletters, and there are a bunch of really good examples. Or you can visit our Pinterest board and find some good examples there as well. Okay, and the last part of my section is automation, which is really important. It's really magic. You set up automation once and it works for you. Nothing to be done additionally, or just some tweaks you need to do, but really not, you don't need to take care about it on a daily basis. And you sleep and the automation works for you and really earns money. So here are just a couple of examples to really show and to really prove, so some numbers, why automation is so important. So just a last part of my presentation, but I believe it's really, really important. So welcome emails. So here's an example of welcome email. When someone signs up to a newsletter, you send either like single email, as in this case, with some super offer. But okay, now I have a subscriber into my database, but I want to convert the one into really buying customer. And or you can send the series of welcome emails. It might be like 2 emails, 3 emails, 5 emails. It depends the sequence. So how many ideas do you have? So send them out. So here is a really good example that each email is aiming at a little bit different, has a little bit different aim. Just they want to invite friends, they want to encourage you to use on mobile phone their app, etc. So it's really great. So welcome campaigns might be 2 kinds of welcome campaigns. One is like in this example, which is really directly inviting you to complete a purchase and even give you a great incentive. So with such a campaigns, I would really recommend you to stop the campaign once the person comes back and to completes a purchase. So usually marketing automation tools, like for example Omnisend, we do it automatically for you, so you do not need to take care about that. So just be sure that your marketing automation tool you use has this feature that it stops it automatically. Of course, you can use Omnisend, so we will take care of it for you. Why is it important to really sending those immediate welcome campaigns? That's, again, statistics shows that only 30 days, you have only 30 days to really convert your new subscriber into a buying customer. So it's not, not a huge time span to do so. So you need to take actions immediately. Another example of great automation and super effective automation is abundant cart reminder emails. So the sad news is that 70% of carts are being abundant. So people are adding products to the shopping cart. That shows that they kind of have a need for one or another product, but they're not completing the purchase. And only 30% of purchases are being completed, the rest are being abundant, which is really like sad. On the other hand, it's a great opportunity to really recover them and to earn extra money. Yeah, so we have analyzed, like millions of emails we send on behalf of our customers. And if like promotional campaign, like bulk email campaign, on average, it has a little bit less than 19% in open rate. So abundant cart reminder has 47. So those emails are being read much, much better comparing to promotional campaigns. And the click rate is like, again, much, much better. So that means that people are engaging much more with those abundant cart campaigns. So it's like almost 14% comparing to 4% on like promotional bulk email campaigns. Why is it so, you can ask? Because the person, the visitor, which is browsing your store and adding products, and the message they receive is really relevant and is really on good time with the content which is relevant for them. So it's really important really to deliver the message on the right time with a relevant content to the relevant person. So all those automation flows really allow you and enables you to do so, which is really important for marketing. And the best thing, opens are good, clicks are good, but conversion rate is absolutely great. So if like single send promotional email converts, conversion rate is on average 0.2%. So with abundant cart reminders is as high as 4.6%. So the difference is really huge. And this is the most important for all online retailers, of course, to have a great conversion rate. And we have calculated revenue per single email sent, analyzing our US-based customers who trade in US dollars. As we probably remember, like worldwide customers, so many different currencies. It's not easy to convert them into a single currency, but we have analyzed our US-based customers, and again, so the conversion rate is higher, and of course the income you get from the email is much higher as well, comparing promotional emails to abundant cart reminders. So I hope those numbers really prove that it's worth using marketing automation tools like Omnisend or others and setting up all those automation campaigns, which again, you set it up once and then you forget it and they earn you money. Yeah, and total carts recovered. So another thing I wanted to say that sending like one email is good, but sending sequence of emails is much better. So if you send a single email, so on average it converts back about 5% of lost cards, of abundant cards. But if you send a sequence, in our case, we do usually send sequence of 3 emails. We find it the most useful. So it converts almost 14% of abundant cards, which is really great. Out of those 70 who are abundant, 14 you are able to convert without doing relatively nothing. And again, like first email has a best conversion rate in general, but what do we recommend for our customers and for our webinar visitors today? That add some discount or any incentive on the third email. So like, the person is receiving first email, maybe the one comes back and converts, which is great. You stop this campaign. If no, so you send the second reminder and the person still is not sure about that he wants to come back immediately and to complete the purchase, but sending out a third email with a discount offer might be really effective. And the one who was still in doubt if he or she wants to complete the purchase and buy the thing, okay, this is an incentive. I want to come back and I will buy. Yeah, so summing up automation, so initially just use it. So I still find that not every online store is using it. So there's still a lot of room to really improve that and to start using it. So set up automation flows. Use various flows. Like I have mentioned only 2 of them, like welcome and abundant cart reminders. There are browse abandonment reminders. There are post-purchase emails. There are customer reactivation emails. So really a lot of them, and you can find almost all of them on Omnisend. So just try, experiment with them. All of them are really effective. And the third advice is give an incentive. Incentives really work. So if you are able, according to your margins on your business, give some incentives with those automated campaigns, give them, and people, it really increases the probability that people will come back or come to your online store and complete the purchase. Yeah, so that's kind of it from my side. So here you can find some contact data of Omnisend, and as Raul has mentioned, so he will share our email addresses, as mine is ritis@omnisend.com. So feel free to drop a message and ask any questions you should have. So I will be more than glad to really personally answer those questions. So Raul, giving back a mic to you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ritis. And again, Ritis' emails is ritis@omnisend.com. I'll put it here real quick. So we've passed the hour already, but Ritis, there's something I wanted to. So I was taking notes, and I hope that everyone in the room was also taking notes, because there was a lot of information that you shared that I was actually very surprised. So I was, first of all, surprised to know that over 60% of the people that open your email spend over 8 seconds looking at it. So I was kind of mind blown by that. But there's a few things that you mentioned that are very interesting in terms of actionable things that merchants can do. So when you say that a lot of merchants still don't use email automation, and I feel like they're missing out on revenue Literally.
Yeah.
We had a guest on one of our knowledge panel that we had a few weeks back. He was Ed Plotz. He's a senior growth strategist at Ladder.io. It's a growth agency in New York City, and he said he mentioned a great analogy, which is sending out an email campaign to your subscribers. It's like using a slot machine. You're sending it out, and you're probably going to see revenue coming right away. You're probably going to have orders coming in just from one simple effort, which is setting up an email campaign. So that's something that I wanted to bring up, because I think it's very interesting. And again, I feel like a lot of stores are not relying on email automation, and I think they are missing out. And you mentioned two things. And you also mentioned two things that I think they're crucial, and it was very well explained on your side, but I wanted to reinforce. We're talking about the pop-ups. You're talking about the pop-ups, and you said that a lot of people don't want to use pop-ups on their sites because they don't want to annoy people. And you said, wait a second, if they're annoyed by your pop-ups, then they're probably not going to be your customers anyway. So it's probably good that they're not even joining your email list. And on that same side, I feel like it's the same as, that fear of using pop-ups because you're going to annoy people. It's also, I feel like, in my opinion, and you probably know a lot more about this because you've seen it on your customers, I feel like it's also the same fear at the fear to unsubscribes. A lot of merchants have the fear of running email campaigns because they think that they're going to get unsubscribes. But at the end of the day, I feel like unsubscribes are good, because if those people don't want to hear from you anyway, they're definitely not going to buy from you. They're never going to convert into customers. So it's actually good that they left your email list. What do you think about these two?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you that, email, as like referral campaigns and email campaigns, they all are about retaining customers, as we're talking about customer retention today. And the part of retention is really personal relationship. Of course, it's not like 100% one-on-one relationship, but it's a bit of personal relationship, and it's completely different to when you are broadcasting on TV or using billboards, when people cannot avoid your messages and they cannot say that, okay, I'm not interested in your brand. I do not have car, so I'm not interested in any car parts or some accessories for cars. And that's absolutely okay if they unsubscribe from your newsletters and they're not willing to receive messages. That only shows that they are not and they will not be your customers anyway, at least for now. We see that sometimes it happens that people are unsubscribing, and after a few months or even after a few years, they are resubscribing again, because maybe some conditions have changed in your personal life, and now you find this brand or this product valuable for you again, which was not like 2 years ago. So it's absolutely, I completely agree with you that it's nothing bad to really get out of a database those who are not really interested in your product, and to leave those who are interested in your product.
One of the things that you mentioned that I also mentioned in my habit, I think they make a lot of sense, is that you say, show your name on your newsletter. Don't try to hide it behind another name, or like try to fake that it was maybe a person that your potential customer knows. Actually show your name. And I think it goes in hand with what I said before about talking to your customers about your story, about who you are, who's behind the company, why are you running this company. Don't be afraid of telling your customers who you are and what's behind the product that they are buying. So it shows transparency, and I think it's good in all senses, and kind of helps your branding and your messaging as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. Absolutely true.
Okay, so well, again, we've passed the hour, so it's time for us to share with you guys the giveaways. So if you want to start a referral program on your online store, you usually offer Referral Candy for 30 days free of charge. So if you go to ReferralCandy.com and sign up to Referral Candy, you will get 30 days for free. But it's something that I mentioned during my part of the webinar. We want to appreciate the fact that you listen to us and listen to what referral marketing can do for you. So we want to reward you with 60 days for free on Referral Candy. Those 60 days, you will have plenty of time to set up your referral campaign, see some orders coming in, see some referrals, and even start getting used to running a referral program, which it's something that grows over time. It's one of the things that we've also, Ritis has also mentioned when related to the email campaigns. Building email lists takes time. Obviously, building a referral campaign takes time, but it's something that it can be extremely profitable, and you can get a really high ROI on your marketing. So again, you can try for 60 days. All you have to do is email me and put in the subject promo webinar. Or you can put something like promo Omnisend webinar, whatever you want, but just make sure that I understand that this is coming from the Omnisend webinar. And my email, as you can see, there's raulg@referralcandy.com. Again, that's raulg@referralcandy.com. And of course, Omnisend, it's also offering us a great deal, so you can get 30% off on their plans for 3 months. So if you want to get started on email automation, well, if after what you have learned from British, you don't want to start an email campaign automation, I don't know what will make you set up a campaign, because it's extremely important in terms of branding, in terms of communication, and also it's a great source of revenue and a great source to retain customer, not only retain customers, but also recover those customers that have left something abandoned in the cart and trying to convince them to get back to your store and complete their purchase. There's a lot of applications that you can put into practice by having an email automation tool. So Omnisend, 30% off for 3 months. You have to use the code that you see there. So it's RC Webinar 1711. Again, that's RC Webinar 1711. Or again, we're leaving both of our emails here because we don't have any time for questions. We've passed our 60 minutes, but I think we've covered a lot of different things. So I'm happy with how the webinar turned out. So if you have any follow-up questions, instead of doing a Q&A, I think it's better if you email us directly. You get to talk to Omnisend's CEO, Ritis. He will personally get back to you with your questions specifically. It can either be about your existing Omnisend campaigns, or it could be about, well, you can talk about specifically
marketing automation in general, which is perfectly fine.
Exactly. If you have any questions, feel free to email both of us. So that's ritis@omnisend.com and mine is raulg@referralcandy.com. And that's it for our webinar today. Again, I really appreciate that you took your time to stay with us today. And of course, Ritis, it was a pleasure, and I hope to have you back here next time.
Thank you for inviting. It was really great to have all of our visitors to the webinar, and as always, it's always great to be with you and to share some knowledge. Thanks, Raul.
Thank you, Ritis. And to all of you, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.